questions. Let's start off by bringing Blake onto the show. Blake Beckham, founder and president of Beckham Group. Blake, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Michael. Good to be here. I've got Dan Sciano with me, and Dan is the founding partner of Tinsman and Sciano in San Antonio.
Okay. They're a law firm, I take it?
Yes.
Okay, great. Welcome to the show, Dan. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
All right, Blake, let me back up and let you drive a little bit because I think that we're going to talk about fiduciaries and trusts that have been managed and looted.
That's right. Michael, I know that many of your listeners have a lot of family wealth or are involved in managing family wealth, and Dan and I have partnered up on cases for the last 20 years, and Dan is working in a new line of cases. It's very important, and it's about large fiduciaries. And Dan, why don't you talk about some of what you're seeing, the trends you're seeing in that litigation?
Yeah, our firm handles civil litigation throughout the South Texas area. Everyone knows or has heard of the expansion of the Eagle Ford Shale, which is a big discovery of oil swath that was south of San Antonio and went through about 28 different counties, as well as the activities that's occurred out in Midland and the others involving the different shale plays. And a lot of this land that these properties where oil and gas finds have occurred are properties that are held in trust as a result of years of wealth management by persons. And we've seen a big uptick over the last 5 years of mismanagement by those organizations that are the fiduciaries, either disposing of oil and gas assets without getting fair prices, selling them to close friends or relatives, taking ownership of them, placing the properties in the ownership of the lending institution or the fiduciary, and a whole litany of things. It's become uncovered only when people start seeing well sites go on the property and then start asking questions of why am I not getting money for that well that's on my property, and then learning that the looting or the problems have occurred.
Now, Dan, for confidentiality reasons, I don't want to ask you about any current cases that you work on, but you obviously are watching the industry. Give the audience some kind of idea of the names of the fiduciaries that are involved in other cases that you're not directly working on.
Well, big companies that there's been a lot of activity on. J.P. Morgan's been one. A lot of that entity has acquired, from a fiduciary standpoint, other banking institutions and trust departments as part of the merger and consolidation. Candidly, almost all of the major fiduciary players, banks, and fiduciary trust organizations throughout that entire swath of property either were originally involved in or large fiduciary companies like Morgan or others have acquired those interests. And so what happened before, they buy the farm for what has happened previously or the continued mismanagement that's happened in the company. So those are some examples.
Now, are you just seeing mismanagement, or are you seeing dishonesty and self-dealing as well?
Well, I mean, it literally runs the gamut. The bad part is when there's money, unfortunately, there's going to be some bad players either seeing that there's an opportunity of uneducated people or uninformed people is probably a better way to do it, and just the blatant, absolute false statement and misrepresentations that are occurring in some of them. Some of them, it is as bad as knowing that the person has an interest, misrepresenting that their interest is something else, and then falsely asking them to stipulate to what their property interest is without giving the proper fiduciary advice so that they can self-deal.
So if you were a family member or a wealth manager, what would you be looking for to see if perhaps you were a victim of this?
Well, I think part of it is just trying to get a better grasp of what the asset management is. A lot of times it comes as a result of an audit by a third party who looks at it, or someone is trying to determine from their estate health plan and evaluating it, and the questions start getting asked about, let me see the trust agreement, let me look at the terms of the trust, let me see what's happened. So candidly, it's a matter of just due diligence, looking at, and sometimes people don't even know that they've been taken advantage of until someone actually looks at their portfolio.
And Dan, again, tell us the name of your firm and where your website is, how somebody would contact you if they needed to.
My firm is in San Antonio, Texas. That's where our principal office is. In fact, I'm in Dallas today taking depositions in the case, but our website is www.tslawyers.com.
TS Lawyers, Tinsman, Sciano Lawyers.com?
Correct.
All right. And so kind of a takeaway, just the overview, the trends, where this is going, and what it means for the public at large.
Well, I think that the bottom line is that it is critically important if anyone has any significant wealth or has a trust and you're a beneficiary, just as a matter of due diligence to someone to look at those issues, either a accounting group or a third-party law firm, someone other than the trust department itself, because they sometimes the left hand doesn't know what the right hand is doing, and sometimes they candidly just don't have knowledge of it. And I would think that as a part of good due diligence, that's what I would do if I was involved in these matters.
Michael, what do you have to wrap up?
Oh, that is great content, Blake, and Dan. I really want to appreciate you guys for coming on to the show. I just I don't know what to say. That was wonderful. I mean, that's really good information for all of us. I want to thank you both for coming on to the show, and we'll be looking forward to having you back next Friday, right, Blake?
All right. Well, we'll talk to you then, Michael.
Thank you
both. All right, this segment was brought to you by BeckhamGroup.com. That was Blake Beckham bringing us more great information on what you need to look out for and where to find the solutions. All right, we're going to go to a break right now, and then when we come back on the other side of the break, it's going to be Private Equity Spotlight with Ed Baxter, and brought to you by Bison Creek Capital. We'll be right back.